All right, we have made it to day 3. Today we have 3 new words. Again, these words are coming from the text that we read last week, Shattering Earthquakes. And the first word is landscape. Today we're going to talk about these 3 words you see here on the screen, landscape, tilt, and rubble. So let's jump right in. So what is a landscape? Well, a landscape is a large area of natural scenery that you can see from one place. Here are some examples of a landscape. Now, we learned that powerful earthquakes can change a landscape or that large area of natural scenery. They do that by opening cracks in the earth or changing the level of the land. Let's take a look at a few examples of how an earthquake can change a landscape. The picture that you're looking at here is showing an area near the west coast of North America, and I want you to take a look. What do you notice about the landscape? Right, there's like this huge line going right down the middle where that fault is, and we know that that's usually a result of those tectonic plates moving. And we know that oftentimes earthquakes then can result in these fault lines. Take a look at this picture. What are you seeing here? Right away, you might be assuming or predicting that an earthquake has happened. You're using your background knowledge and you know that earthquakes can cause buildings to topple, right? That was one of our previous words. So let's go ahead and read this real quick. Let's see what's going on in this photograph. This was taken from pages 12 and 13 in the text, where we learned that in 1985, there was a severe earthquake in Mexico. The earthquake was so bad because the city sits on soil made of soft sand and clay. Well, I wonder how that ties into our vocabulary word. Let's take a look. The shock waves shook the soil grains apart, turning it into quicksand. This caused buildings to tilt, shift, or even sink into it. So I'm wondering, what does the word tilt mean? To tilt means to lean or tip to one side. What other things besides buildings can tilt? I want you to think to yourself, when have you seen something tilt? I know that when I was driving down the road, I know that this has happened on more than one occasion, but I've seen trees that are leaning so far to one side, they almost look like they're going to fall or even topple. And I've said to the person in the car next to me, look how much that tree is tilted to one side. The last one we're going to talk about today is rubble. And rubble refers to broken pieces of brick or stone or other material from a building that has been destroyed or demolished. So from page 13 in the text stated, once the dust clouds had cleared, it became obvious that much of Mexico City had been reduced to rubble. Take a look at the photograph in the background. Why might you see rubble after an earthquake? I want you to think to yourself, if you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk. Go ahead and use this sentence frame to complete your thinking. You might see rubble after an earthquake because right, we're going to see probably rubble after an earthquake because we know that earthquakes cause the ground to shake and can even cause buildings to topple. And we know that rubble is a result of broken pieces from buildings. So after those buildings have broken or fallen apart, we probably will see some rubble. Last one, is there another place or instance where you might see rubble? Think to yourself, or if you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk. You may also see rubble I guess when I hear the word rubble and I know that this is referring to buildings that are destroyed or demolished, I might infer that at a construction site, you might likely see some rubble because maybe they are either building or tearing down a building, and buildings being demolished, you might see the rubble there on the ground. That wraps up day 3. Tomorrow we will go back and revisit these 3 words: landscape, tilt, and rubble. Thanks.